Well friends, this is my Ryobi 1 Plus 18 volt string trimmer. I've had this about 20 years and it's outlived 7 or 8 batteries, but now the motor has lost its smoke. I could replace it. A new one with a battery and charger is only like $90. The problem is I just bought a 12-pack of replacement string spools and I can no longer return those, and so I want to make use of them. So we're going to fix this thing. We'll begin by exposing the motor. All you do is you pull off the edging guide, and there's a screw under there, and then 4 more. Just remove all those. Underneath here's a spring, and the motor. That got so hot it started to melt the case a little bit. That's not good. And there's this number on the side, 775PC. That is a very common motor. Those are available on Amazon. I happen to know that motor's not just used in string trimmers, it's used in a lot of other things too, like cordless drills. In any case, if you need one for whatever your project is, I'll leave a link in the doobly-doo below so you can go buy one. You'll notice there's this screw here. I'm fairly certain what that screw is for is to hold the safety shield on, which I threw away first thing. Anyway, let's pop this out, this cover. That motor's still hot, really hot. Looking down inside there, I don't see anything that's holding the spool housing onto the motor. And here's an image of the replacement motor up in the PIP. And you'll notice there's no threads on it, there's no flat side on it. I suspect all they've done is just press the motor into this spool housing. And that means getting it out is going to be kind of risky, because the way I'm going to have to do it is secure this ring here somehow and drive the motor shaft out. So let's go over to the vise and see what we can figure out. This is actually a simulation because I forgot to hit record, but what I had done is I had just cut this slot in this piece of angle iron, popped it into the vise, slip the motor shaft over it, and then drive out the motor shaft with this punch. And that's kind of the way it went the first time too. I was actually kind of worried that this part might not survive the removal process, so I didn't actually order the motor. I'll go do that now. It'll be here in the morning. Okay, so it's the next day and I got my new motor. And as you can see, it is the same motor, although this shaft is just a little bit shorter. That's kind of disappointing, but I think I'm going to go with it anyway. This plastic tab here is the motor mount. We'll just transfer that over to the new motor. And those mounting holes line right up. Now we need to press the spool carrier onto the shaft. I think a C-clamp should work well for that. Okay, that should do. Now on the original there was a little bit more gap between the spool holder and the end of the motor, but since this shaft is a little bit shorter, I just went ahead and pressed it all the way on. Look here, you'll notice that there's a red dot next to one of the terminals. That's to indicate the positive side of the battery. Here on the frame, the wiring is black and white. Now the standard convention when working with DC is that red would be positive, black would be negative. But since I didn't have the foresight to measure which was which before I took it apart, I'm going to have to check it now. I'm going to take a guess that black is positive and that white is negative in this case. And we'll just hook it up and try it out. And that is turning the direction that I want it to turn. So we've got it hooked up right. One thing I think you'd want to avoid is pinching the wire between the motor and the housing, because we know from our past experience that this motor can get pretty hot. Then we'll just come in, make sure this spring is in still. Put that motor cover back on. And a 12-pack of these pre-wound spools was cheaper than just buying a roll of the wire, which is why I ended up with a 12-pack. That's working just like new, but just to make sure, let's go try it. Now, I'm not sure why the original motor failed, but I'm definitely going to be taking it apart and trying to find out. And if I make any progress on that, you'll be able to see the result on Instagram. Find me there under the name Wildman.Tech. I'll leave a purchase link to this motor in the doobly-doo below in case you need one for your project. Don't forget, more than just weed whackers use that same motor. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click up here to see my last video. Click over here to see something of mine YouTube thinks you'll like. Let's all get vaccinated so we can get back to normal. Get the Fauci ouchie and have a good one.